Sorry about the late start. Had to keep booting the internet, but it didn't fix it, so it might be a little laggy today. I apologize. But I hope everyone's well. So now that I'm starting to get started, I had a really fun request this week, which I think is really good, especially with Netflix about to be showing a lot of the Miyazaki movies. Someone recommended drawing the Catbus. So I thought that sounds really fun. Let me move this up a little bit. Move this up a little for you guys. Sorry. Where are my edges? All right, let's try this out. So we're gonna draw the Catbus because it sounded fun. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Hello, everybody. Hello to another Friday. I'm excited for this. So the Catbus is from Totoro, and if you guys have not watched Totoro, I highly recommend watching it. It is sad but amazing, beautiful. Any Miyazaki film is amazingly beautiful, and the stories are always really great, so I highly recommend it. Yeah, Studio Ghibli. Someone recommended this, and I thought it was such a great idea. Why not do another creature? And in a way, we learn a little about drawing vehicles, kind of. So let's do this. So if you have your pencil, eraser, and marker, those are your ideal tools if you have them. And if you don't, please don't worry. Anything you could draw with is perfectly fine. If you have a light colored and a dark colored pencil, crayon, whatever it might be, grab it. Grab the lighter one right now. We don't want the darker one. Grab whatever lightest tool you have. So I'm going to start with my pencil. So the way we're going to have the Catbus is there's this cute part where the Catbus is on a roof. The Catbus is a giant, exactly what it sounds like. It's a cat bus. So I thought, why not have it sitting on a roof? So I'm actually going to start with a little triangle right here as the roof to the house. So that I'm setting up as my ground, because usually we have a ground and they're standing on a ground. So we have our triangle. And the way we're going to draw the Catbus is we're going to draw it wrapping around so it looks like it's sitting on top of this shape. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to start with the face, and the face is going to be on an angle. So if this is straight up, the middle of the head is going to be a line going to the side. So you can see it's going to be on an angle. So when you draw your circle, because we always start with a circle for the head, mine's going to be a little more of an oval. I am drawing it with this angle in mind. And the eyes are going to sit lower on the face. So I'm going to draw the line across a little bit lower because his head's going to be angled downwards. And so if this is the head, sorry, there's an alarm. My bad, guys. Sorry, I was supposed to mute it, but I realized I can't hit the mute button because it's right where the clip of my phone is. So we're just going to ignore that for a second or two. There we go. Come on. Go away. There we go. Such a professional stream, guys. Such a professional stream. So if this is the head, that means the front of the bus, we want it to follow a very similar angle. So if we imagine this head curving around, if it curves around, the front of the bus and the center of the front of the bus will be about here. And the top of the bus would follow a very similar angle as the head. I'm just going to exaggerate it more. And I'm going to position the front about here. So it looks like the head might be attached there to this weird shape I am creating for the bus. And I want to think of everything on an angle. Sorry, my dog is actually freaking out. He has his thunder shirt on. The other dog does not give a hoot. Olive is a lot braver, but Otis is hiding under my desk with his thunder shirt with some CBD in his belly. So you guys just mute when that starts. I was hoping it would be over by now, but it's not. All right, so there's the top of the bus. And usually when we have a vehicle, it is quite square shaped, but this is a cat bus, so it does have more of a roundness to it. Oops, sorry, no, this is not your microwave. It is my annoying fire alarm. So we go this way, and then we're going to think of it as an angle. So we want to follow a similar shape this way. I'm going to curve it because it is a little more organic, and then cap it back down. And this would be almost like the box shape for if you're drawing a car. But this car has feet and actually has 10 feet altogether. So I thought this is really good because we drew Appa last week with the multiple feet. Well, we're going to be kind of doing the same thing a little bit differently though. So it's sitting on this rooftop here. So the main foot would attach here, and this cylinder would be the front foot of our cat bus. And then we want to repeat a very similar shape 4 more times and make it a little more narrower because this is the one in front and everything else will be layered behind it. So then 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then if this leg's attached here and sitting here, we're going to extend and create another leg right here. Hopefully you guys can see all that. And the Catbus has a cat tail, so I'm just going to take it and then make it another cylinder. But I'm going to wrap this cylinder almost as though it is going forward, like wrapping itself around. So this is going to be our shape for today that we're going to work with, and we're going to carve everything out and figure where everything goes. So with our cat bus, we need cat ears. So I'm going to set a little placement, and I'm just making sure that it's the same on both sides and adjust it as needed, looking at distances between things. And the cat ear, I'm going to curve it almost like a curved triangle shape. And I'm going to have that on both sides. Alrighty then. And this is Aggie style cat bus. So when I like to draw cats, I like to draw little whisks of fur at the bottom here sometimes. Sometimes I point them up, sometimes I point them down. And I'm going to connect the two together. Make a nice cute cat bus. And I would like my eyes lower on the face, and we're going to make them very Agnes-like eyes, the way I like to draw them. So they're going to be cute and rounded. They're going to be almost like a sideways, upside down teardrop shape. The best way to describe it. But like everything, let's just start with a circle. 1. And then trying to make sure we're keeping everything even. That's why we have our guides. 2. And I'm just going to make it a little more cat-like. So right here, I'm going to add a tip. You could see I just carved it out of the basic shape that I had. We're getting stuff done. I closed all my browsers and everything to try to help with the internet situation. We're improvising. And when I draw my cats and a lot of dogs, a lot of the time they have this little bump above their eyes, which the cat bus technically doesn't have, but I'm going to give it. And it's almost like this little half circle shape. And that's just how I like to draw them because usually little animals have that little bump right there. And I think it's a really cute little bump. So we're going to give them cat-like eyes. So our black, which usually we draw a circle, is going to be just a very sharp pointed line in the eyes. And it's going to have a slight curve. And we're just going to thicken that up a bit. So it's very different than we usually draw our eyes. All right, let me see here. I think most people enjoy drawing figures, but what would you recommend on how to draw everyday objects like cars, money, plants, or just a glass of water? Do you just do life drawing and draw everything? I highly recommend life drawing. Um, I did a lot of life drawing in high school and in college. It's something that teaches you the basics and teaches you about basic shapes. And whatever you're drawing, it doesn't matter if it's a car, money, plant, always think of something as a simple shape and then go into the detail. Like a car is, as Jim Lee would like to describe it, almost like a bar of soap. And that's a very basic shape to think about a car. Just very boxy, and then you start adding details. A glass of water is a cylinder. So then you just work with that cylinder shape. Money is like a very, very flat shape. And if you curve it, you just have to think about everything as a simple, simple shape. Or Google it. Yes, you're quite right. But yeah, everything starts off as a basic shape and then you add the details. And that's with anything you draw. Sorry guys, just got a little chilly. I've got my sweater. Alrighty then. Let's continue with the cats. So I'm gonna draw a little cylinder right here for the nose. And I'm just gonna add a little triangle at the bottom to give it a bit of a cat-like shape for the nose. And the Catbus has a very Cheshire cat smile. So we're going to draw a really, really big smile on our cat today. Well, in the space that we have. So the smile is going to end past the eyes. And it's going to have a little dip right here. So start with almost like a curve that's going towards the nose. And then curve it. Sorry, guys. Definitely annoying for a live stream. So that shape right there is for the smile. And then the bottom, we're just going to connect everything together with a very long rounded line. And then we're going to give them little teeth. So just draw a line and try to keep them as evenly spaced. And we have the face of our cat. Yay, enjoy your food. And he has patterns because he's almost like a tabby cat. So right here, I'm going to draw a pattern. And this part right here is just going to be a different color because it's his tabby stripe on his head. And just continue that down. And I'm going to give him two stripes, two little triangle stripes on each side of his face. And then I'm going to draw a line, slightly, just ever so slightly curved for the ear. I'm just going to add two little whisks of hair inside his ear. And on each side, I am going to, hi, long time no see. We have all the way from Denmark, an amazing person visiting us today. All right, so he has whiskers. So we're going to start the first whisker between these two lines and do a whisker in each of that section. Just so that way we have a placeholder and we can keep everything quite even. Now that we have our face, we can move on to more details. Woohoo! Let's work on the leg right here. We want this leg right here to pretty much be sitting with the claws. He has three little claws, so we're going to draw three circles. 1, 2, 3. And little nails. 1, 2, and 3. So this claw right here, and this one, and this one. So it's 3 circles and then little claw-like shapes. So it looks like he's putting his little footsie on this rooftop. And right here, we have the other side of our roof. And we could draw the 3 circles to show that the back leg also has 3 claws. We could draw very circular-like shapes. Ba-ba-ba-ba. And he has little stripes. So we're going to draw a stripe shape right here, just like little rough oval cylinder shapes. These legs right here are kind of tucked in the back, so we can't see them. So we're not going to draw the claws, but we're going to draw little details, just little cylinder details, because he's a tabby cat. And even his tail, let's make it a little fluffier. So the way we do a fluffy, we create these little tiny cylinder shapes and just make it uneven. Doesn't have to sit in the same pattern. Just carve out little cylinder shapes. Someone asked, what is the weirdest combination of an animal and object you have drawn? That's a really good question. I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me think about that one. That's a good question. We're going to draw a tabby stripe here and another tabby stripe right there. And now we could start moving to the actual bus parts. So we need to have a basic shape. Oh gosh, darn it. I am rounding out the square-like shape, making it a little more organic because this is a fluffy cat bus. And here I could draw some of those fluffy fur-like shapes and round it back in. So now it's looking like it's more organic, more fluffy. So right here, he actually has 2 mice for lights, and they sit near the top of the cat bus. So we're going to draw a little mouse. So to do a little mouse, we're going to do kind of like an upside down teardrop shape. We're going to draw cylinders for the ears, circles for the eyes, and a little circle for the nose. And we're going to put the body right here behind it, which is another circle, and then a little curve for the tail. And we're going to do another little mouse right here. So we want to make sure to keep everything about even. So we're going to do a teardrop shape pointed almost downwards. Circle. Circle. Circle for the eye. Circle for the eye. Cylinder behind. And a little tail. And there's a little cylinder detail right here. And it has a Japanese character that looks like this. So it's a line with a curve and then a line across. And those are some of our cat bus details. So now we can work on the windows. So we could do almost square-like shapes. But at the bottom, it has a slight angle. And we repeat that, and because it's on an angle, this one's going to be a little wider than this one because this one's closer to us. Oh, you've been watching Miyazaki. That's awesome. It is. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. And then we're going to draw the cylinder shape right here. And then once again, put on a slight angle. And we're just going to add a little line right here to make it look like it's 3D. So now it looks like it's windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and he has 6 windows on this side. And the thing about doing windows, these are going to be wider than the ones here. Because everything is on an angle. So everything closer to us will always be wider. And when you're drawing multiple windows, you want to make sure they're quite similar shapes and you want to keep them in line. So you want to set yourself guidelines. And one good guideline is this bus has a stripe right here at the bottom. So this already is a really good guideline for setting up the rest of the windows to us. And then we're going to start setting up a placeholder for the other window. So I'm going to draw a line and I want the windows to end right here. And I want the windows to begin right here. I want them about the same height as that one, so I'm keeping that in mind as I go all the way back, following the curve that I created. So this window will be shorter and more narrow. Sorry, grabbing my coffee. And this is something that you can apply to regular cars as well, keeping the angle and perspective. Perspective's very important. So we're keeping everything relatively in the best perspective. And 1, 2, 3, and 6 windows. So it might be a little tricky for you to figure out the spacing. And if this is trial and error a lot of the time, because you have to always think, especially if you're learning, you might be like, how do I figure out the spacing between the windows? So let's give this a shot. And I'm going to very lightly draw the thickness of the first window, which maybe about this thickness will work. And this one, when I end it, I want it to be quite narrow. And then I could see very roughly if it'll work out. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, it'll work out. Cool. But I'm going to narrow this one just a tiny bit. So I'm going to narrow this one. And before I draw them in, I'm just going to draw little lines at the top here. And each one, as it gets back, becomes thinner. And the reason I'm not drawing the full window just yet is I want to make sure my spacing works before I go in and I start adding that detail. And this is something also to do when you're learning shapes and distance and perspective. Just don't draw it all in right away. And I'm curving my windows because he is a bus and he's a cat, so he's a little more organic. And I'm just going to draw a little line detail right here on each one. And this one you could barely see because it's so far back. And he has a stripe detail right here. So I'm just going to make it a little furry, and it curves right there. And now if you're thinking about this as a 3D shape, so I'm just going to round it. So you could figure out that the inside of the bus might be showing through the window a little bit. So you could draw just a little detail. I'm just going to draw a little light from the inside here. And then if I'm following this across, another detail here, maybe one right there. So now it looks like it's the inside of the bus. And that here is the line art for our Catbus. Woohoo! So now we could go in and start adding, let's add little roof details. Let's add like little lines. Just make a simple roof. Just little lines going across, just a simple roof. We're not worried about the roof. So now grab whatever you want to use for inking. Grab your black, anything you have of color. I'm glad it's one of your favorites. So I'm going to start with the ear right here. And remember, guys, you're only picking the lines you want to keep. You're completely ignoring any lines you don't want to keep. So then I go up. Sorry, guys, I totally flipped that really quickly. And I like to turn my page when I do a lot of lines to try to keep them as clean as possible, because I definitely do lines better one direction than I do another. And these ones right here for the detail, I'm just going to leave for now. So I might make the line art a different color. Go across the bottom. Huh. Straight lines take a lot of practice, just like with everything. Little nose. And line across. And the teeth. And you guys are still wondering, yes, my finger is still messed up. Think I might have to go see someone about it. It's not really getting better. That's not a good. But what can you do? You know what? I don't think I've ever drawn Porco Rosso. Have I? I don't know. That's a good. That would be a fun one, definitely. Let's go for the eyes. Sorry, guys. My dog's also starting to snore, so we're all getting all sorts of noises today. And a little detail that we have here. Oh, it's so quiet now compared to all the loudness of today. So we're going to go to the little pointy cylinder shapes for the nails because it is on top of the building. And the little toesies. And then I'm going to do the line of the building, but I'm going to stop where the tail is. Curve it around. Other side. Then the little cylinder shape, because these toes are sitting on the roof. And now I'm going to do just little thin roof lines. Alrighties then. Yes, they are mice on the bus. You are quite right. Now the sides of the legs. Do 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 do. All right. And the outside of the bus. And we could go to the mice. Their little eyes. Their eyes are actually lights, in case you guys are wondering. Let's go to this one. It's going to be on Netflix soon. I think the end of this month or next month. Oh my god, I don't know anymore. I suppose I was tracking it and I just totally forgot. All right, missed right here. And the window. I'm just following the lines I already set up for myself. Keeping the lines I want to keep, completely ignoring any lines I don't want to keep. Now remember guys, you created these windows. round them out. Make sure not to draw that guideline that you had across. Just curving out my windows, making them a little more organic. I use the word organic because when we think of mechanical, we think of very sharp lines. Just gonna grab my colored one for some of the kitty cat details. And when we think of organic, we think about very curved, very natural looking shapes compared to, whoop, 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 don't leak on me, baby. There we go. Yes, that's right. Grunt, grunt. And the only reason I'm doing the stripes in a different color is because I don't want them to be as pronounced as the black outlines. And that's just a preference. You can make them black, you can make them any color. It's going to be brown, different shades of brown. Sorry, I'm trying to flip this around to make sure I don't destroy my own drawing while it dries. And the inside, I'm also going to make the little details. Oh, I tried to totally make a boo-boo. Because I don't want the details to overpower that are inside the bus. So that's our cat bus. We just gotta give it a second to dry, and then we can move on to the colors. Fortunately, how I set up my camera today, the colors are gonna be on the opposite side. Let me just fan this. Oh, someone said I didn't know you didn't connect the lines. Is that for the texture? Yes. Sometimes if the lines, I don't want them to be as pronounced or they're pulled back a little, I don't always connect them. I leave little gaps, and that's just to push something back, because when something's closer to you, you have more detail, and if something's back, you have less detail. And sometimes to represent the less detail, you could break up the lines. Where did my eraser? Oh, there it is. All right, so now we can finally get to the coloring. So today we're going to be using a lot of browns and yellows. So that'll be our main colors we're using today. We're going to have some blue for the background, but a lot of browns and yellows, so be ready. Whoops, I smudged there. We'll make that work for us. This is why you should let things dry, guys, so you don't do that. But I know how to cover up mistakes, so we'll cover it up as best as we can. We'll make it work for us. Alrighties, where did I put my brush? Oh, sorry guys, I hit the camera. Alrighties. Now we can get watercoloring. So I am going to start with a yellow because the inside of the bus has yellow and his eyes have a bit of yellow. So we're going to mix up some yellow today. Let me see if I could mix this up a little more. I don't think I can today. Let me try. So you can see the palette a little more now. Alrighties. Oops, my brush is upside down. Mix up my yellow. So now that we're at this part of the stream, compared to last week, how is the quality for those who watched last week? Why, put some yellow in the eyes. Yellow kitty cat eyes. And inside Catbus is going to be yellow. inside the Catbus is gonna be yellow, so we're making it yellow. We'll add a little shading after, but right now let's just set the base color as yellow. And the lights of the mice are kind of like a light purple, like a violet. Do we remember what colors to mix to make purple? Blue and red. I guess just making the violet the color I would like it. So the audio is louder than normal. Just whatever the comment was. It's about the same, but a bit better. Yeah, I'll go back to the other one. I know the other one drops, but the quality is definitely better. Today's the last day, I think. Billing. So I'm just drawing kind of like a rough light shape, just to remind me it's just that this is the light from the eyes. Maybe a little more gray than I would like it, but I could adjust that. So we're gonna mix a brown for the Catbus. And the way I'm gonna do this is I usually start with a lighter color and then go over details with a darker color. But if you cannot overlap colors with whatever tools you're using, don't use this method. Maybe I just won't use it just in case you guys copy me, and I'd rather you guys don't make a mistake. So this part is going to be light brown. This part's going to be dark brown. And usually what I do, since this is a lighter color, I would still go over where the dark brown section is, because with watercolors, you can layer colors and it helps develop different shades. But we want to be careful today, and I want to make sure we all have not a big mess of color. So light brown. Nose is going to be pink, by the way. We'll do that after. Ta-da! And the foot is going to be the same color. The nails are going to be darker. Oh no, the nails are actually going to be lighter. Good thing I checked. Alrighty. Everything the brown. All right, I'm just gonna have to flip this upside down because I don't want to put my hands. Oh gosh darn it. So annoying. Sorry guys. If I could stop it, I would. It's gonna be an interesting stream. When you re-listen to it, you're like, that's a lot of beeping noise. My friend's also having fire alarm testing in their building too. Guess it's just one of those days. Alrighty, so that part is going to be the light brown. So since this part's dry, I could start going in with the darker brown. So you want a darker brown. Sometimes it helps mixing a little purple into your brown to darken it. And the darker brown, oh, The ears were actually darker brown. So there you go. Ears are now darker brown. This part is darker brown. Ears darker brown. The ear hair is a darker brown. Stripe details. So you just want to go in and make sure we darken all the stripe details, all the details. Going through, getting all our details. Dum dum dum. Yeah, it definitely isn't one of my streams if everything goes right. It's so rare. Dog snores, dog goes crazy, fire alarms, random stuff, internet. Guess that's the joy of live streaming. You really never know what's gonna happen. One of my lights is now dead. I have to replace it. I keep forgetting. So remember, guys, this is a light. So I'm not gonna color. I'm just gonna lighten up a little bit around the edge. But I'm gonna leave it as is because I want to make sure it looks like it's lit up. I'm just gonna lighten it. Little dabs, little dabbing shapes to really help with making it look like it's lit up. And I'm just going through. I'm almost done my brown. Right. And we're gonna mix up a little peachy color. So we're gonna go to the pink. And to make it more peach, we're just gonna add a little bit of yellow. You can see right away it has formed into a more peachy tone. And this tone is gonna go inside the ears. A little bit more pink. There we go. How do you learn how to blend colors? School or just messing around when sketching? Both. Um, it is something, it's color theory. I mentioned it in past streams that understanding the color wheel and why colors work together is very important. And that's how you actually learn how to blend colors. Once you understand what colors do, and his little nose is also pink, then you can really start blending and working with colors. I'm going to take a little bit of this lavender I created. I'm just going to put on his nails to give it a bit of a gray tone. So once you understand color theory, you can really understand why certain colors mix, making, by the way, gray mice. And it's something that over time becomes very natural to you because you have the understanding. So if you're too young to use the internet, Google color theory and color wheel. These are very important things to learn about and just start learning why colors work together and how they work together. And then you could really start understanding how to blend. And I'm going to make it a gray roof. When it's this close, it picks up a lot of noise. I have a slightly, my phone's on a slightly different angle today, just to make this improvise it work with the bad internet. And I kept it darker closer to him because he would definitely be casting a shadow over the roof. So I kept it kind of fun and textured. And I'm going to add a slightly darker blue in the background because it's nighttime. So I'm just going to mix up a blue. I'm actually just mixing two blues together because I want the tone of the two blues together. And that's just a preference, but grab any blue you like. And I'm just going to fade the blue sky out. With the more water you add, the less pigment stays on your brush. And pigment is color. So I didn't want a lot of pigment. So I'm just going to move this out of the way, guys. And I'm going to blend it out by adding more water onto my brush. You could do this however you guys like it. I had both cats and dogs growing up. Someone asked if I had cats growing up or if it was just dogs. No, I grew up having hamsters and those little fighting fish too. But no, I always had cats and dogs. Unfortunately, I developed an allergy in adulthood to cats and it became very severe. So I can't really have cats, unfortunately, which is a total bummer because I really like them. But it causes me to have asthma-like symptoms. So that's not really good because it clogs up my throat, which is not fun. But luckily, my kitty cats had a really good home back in Toronto. They lived to a ripe old age. A few of my cats unfortunately ran away when I was a kid because we had indoor-outdoor cats, and I always hope that they lived long, happy lives. One of them was called Oreo. He was a very big cat. He was abnormally big cat, whatever he was mixed with. My friends found a cat and then she got pregnant and had kittens and then I had cats just like that. Well, one cat. And then I had other dogs growing up. I had Chow Chow, an Australian Shepherd. Don't recommend Chow Chows, guys, unless it's female Chow. All right, now let's add a little bit of shading. Chows are a bit more aggressive breed. Learned from personal experience, so don't recommend it. Australian Shepherds need a lot of energy, have a lot of energy, need a lot of exercise. So if you ever want to get a breed like that, be ready for it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading with this dark brown where I feel shadows should be cast. Since I have a couple minutes in the stream, just give it a bit of a more of a 3D feel. And I forgot some really cool news today, which has put me in a pretty good mood today, other than the annoying fire alarm testing. Can't tell you guys what it is, but it was pretty dang cool, and hopefully something really cool will come of it. If everything works out, but you never know. You could hit hiccups along the way, but you gotta be optimistic. So that cool news goes through. Whew, can't wait till I can talk to you guys about it. Oh, you have a little dumpster doggy. That's so cute. Dog has a good home. I'm just going to darken up some details. Just remember, guys, I'm thinking about light sources. My light source is this eraser. It's a very common light source I use. It's a very easy one. When my dog snores. Under the windows, just a little shading. And I'm going to add a little darker pink peach inside the ears. Just a little bit right there. A little bit on this side of the face. Make it look more 3D. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Just add a very faint line. So that way it looks like the lip is casting a shadow over the teeth. And I'm going to adjust a little bit of orange on the inside where the light is, just to add a little bit more, sorry guys, a little bit more interesting contrast on the inside of the bus, just at the top of it. Just so it's not a solid color. Just gonna blend that a little better. Just gonna mix a little bit more of the lavender. Just add a little bit into the lighting here, just make it a little more purple because it is quite gray. And I'm just gonna add a little more darkness over where the Catbus hits the roof. And just where these lines are, just to make it look like it's, I forget what shingles, whatever you call it, rooftop stuff. And we got ourselves a Catbus! We did it! Wait, a lot against us today, but somehow we still finished it. And of course, when you're done, sign your name and you have completed today's work. And if you guys do want to win this, follow me on Instagram. I'll post all the details when I post this. It involves you reposting your pieces or my piece from the stream, hashtagging and tagging me. But yeah, at the end of this month, I'll announce the winner and you get to pick one of the pieces done this month as your prize, like this Catbus, which I just smacked. There we go. So thank you again, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Keep safe, wear masks, wash your hands. Take care, guys. Thank you.